Tesla just made a huge announcement today, but the stock price is falling almost 5% right now. Let's take a look at what that announcement is. We'll also take a look at some of your stocks in the chat. So go put those in the chat right now. And then we'll take a look at some new trade ideas. All of that today in the invitation only live stream. So Tesla just announced, Joe, I don't know. Actually, Joe pointed this out to me. Tesla just announced a brand new, less expensive Model Y to offset the fact that the tax credits are going away. So, Joe, what do you know about this? Because this is news to me. I didn't even know this was happening. Joe, you're muted. This is a professional YouTube channel, Joe. Come on.
What I know is the headline you're showing us here. Other than that, no, I just saw it come across my screen and thought it'd be something interesting to chat about. But
No,
if you're into Teslas, maybe this is your opportunity.
well, I am into Teslas. I have a Tesla Model Y Performance, and that thing is so blazingly fast, but it also chews up tires like no one's business. Like the default mode is sport mode, and sport mode is the 3.3 second 0 to 60. It's brutal. It's so brutal, Joe. It should not be that fast in a family car. So we keep it in chill mode all the time. But a ton of people love Tesla stock. And I honestly, I think a lot of people are no longer in love with the Tesla automobile. Now, we've seen waves of people who are like, you got to go buy a Tesla. It's like the new big deal, right? I don't know if I fell so much into that. I was just like, I really want to experience that brutal speed anytime I want to, right? I don't have to go buy a Lamborghini. I don't have to go buy I can buy a family car. My wife drives that car to school every single day, right? Um, and obviously she likes it so much and she doesn't even give me a chance to drive it is what that means. Um, but that was my whole thing is I wanted to be able to experience what that felt on demand. And now that I have it, it's like, whew, this is so stinking fast. But I don't know if I would get another Tesla. One of my
Yeah.
friends works at Toyota, and I've talked several times about how I want to get a big truck. I want to get a big GMC 2500 AT4X truck, like a $90,000 truck. Um, and most likely that's going to happen before the end of the year. But my friend who works at Toyota, he's like, "Aren't you going to get another Tesla?" And I'm like, "No, I don't think I will. I really
Yeah.
don't think I will." I did seriously expected the charging infrastructure to be better. At this point, right? You still have to, if you're to go taking a road trip, you still have to map out your road trip around the chargers, right? You can't just go like you can in a gas car. Have you experienced any of this yet, Joe? I don't know if you've got a Tesla or anything like that.
I had the opportunity to drive a friend's Model Y, and I really enjoyed it. I mean, like you said, the power is unbelievable, and it handled great. But where I live, electricity is very, very expensive. So
Oh,
it's not something I could get on board with. And then the experience you had with the tires kind of has me a bit leery. So I'll stick to the pickup truck.
yeah, and I mean, our other car is a Lexus GX, and that thing is bulletproof. Oh my gosh, is that thing bulletproof? Like you could drive it through like Mount Vesuvius as it's erupting, and it's going to come out the other side. Like that thing is awesome. I don't have that feeling on the Tesla. The doors are as thick as a tin can, right? I've
Mm,
gotten like door dings just staring at it too hard, and now at least where I live, electricity must be significantly cheaper because like empty to full is $8 in electricity. I had no idea it was going to be that inexpensive. But if you're on the supercharger, still it's like 17, which is way less than a tank of gas. But I'll tell you what drives me crazy on that car because it has a 303-mile range and our lake house is 250 miles away. Guess
mm,
who can't make it 250 miles without charging? This
uh,
guy. And it's like, how? How did we get to this point? How can I not make it even 250 miles, right? I'm taking 53 miles off the range and I still can't make it. I got to go about 180 before I need to charge. Give me a freaking break. Are you
yeah,
serious?
that's a drag. Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, Tesla is revealing a new Model Y, and maybe this one can live up to its range. Let's jump in this video and listen from it.
Individual movers as well, namely Tesla. Pross, we got this cryptic announcement. There was this report that it's just a sort of souped down. Is that the opposite of souped up? I don't know. It's a cheaper Model Y. How do we feel about this?
Yeah, I think the term is decontented Model Y is
Ah,
what they say. But yeah, you saw that video, the cryptic video there. People had assumed, oh, is that a rotor or a spinning blade for for the new Tesla Roadster? Is it an altogether new vehicle? But it turns out, according to Bloomberg at least, that it's going to be that stripped down Model Y that we heard was going to come out after the expiration of the tax credit. Bloomberg said it would the car would lack certain features and use less premium materials. What that means is we've seen some.
Joe, have you you said you sat in a Tesla before, right?
Yeah, I've driven one, a Model Y. Yep.
Yeah, there ain't shit premium materials in there. Okay. That's hilarious. So, I mean, if you've sat in a fancy car and then you sat in a Tesla, you'd be like, this is supposed to be a luxury car? Are you serious? So they're gonna make one even more bare bones than that? That's pretty hilarious.
Yeah.
Is it ad supported? Yes. As you drive down the road, it disables your screen so you can watch 60 seconds of like a Nike commercial. Yeah.
Stripped down models kind of testing outside, lacking the full light bar in the front, supposedly, like less premium materials inside, less sound deadening, a smaller screen, and lack of second screen for the passengers. So just really kind of think of a Model Y, but just a lot of the bells and whistles sort of removed from there. Musk even said, hey, that's what you're going to see is our cheap vehicles, not going to be an altogether new vehicle. So a little bit of the enthusiasm kind of taking off here. The stock a little bit down today. We saw Q3 deliveries pull forward, right, because of the fact that EV tax credit went away. Is a vehicle like this going to jumpstart sales because of the fact that it's going to maybe possibly be around $35,000? We'll see. That's the question: is will it actually help Q4 deliveries?
well, and Musk himself seems to have just kind of lost enthusiasm for the car business, right? Which, again, as we like to remind people, is still where they get most of their money from, most of their revenue from, the vast majority of their revenue from. But whenever he talks these days, he says if you're buying Tesla, you're not buying it for the cars, you're buying it for the stuff that doesn't make money yet, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Tesla, over 90% of the revenue, if not more, is from the car business. That's their bread and butter. But Julie, we talked about the AI trading earlier just now. I talk about market valuations, and Elon Musk he's looking at that, looking at OpenAI, looking at NVIDIA. Hell, we're that company too. We're an AI company. We're a robotics company. What about us? And he's actually convinced the market, right, that Tesla deserves that multiple, and the stock's been going up 12% this year after a steep dive earlier in the year. So it's not about the cars, he says. It's about our future products. But guess what? The cars are driving the business right now.
Yeah, well, and it's up 12%.
Well, it's kind of like saying Apple, right? We're more than just our iPhones, which I suppose that they are, but the iPhones drive the majority of all their sales, right? Dude, it feels like, we're talking Tesla quality, we're talking Apple quality. I don't know, man. Just a symptom of the post-COVID age that we're dealing with, I guess, right?
Yeah, engineered obsolescence, they call that, right?
Something like that. I have used my iPhone to drive the Tesla. I have done that.
Really? How do you do this?
Yeah. So there was a point in time where I had the free self-driving trial, and it's happened twice since I've owned it. It was a month of free self-driving, and you can back it out of your garage or park it into a spot or whatever just by like tapping. It's literally a giant RC car. When you have this enabled, it is exactly a giant RC car that you can do from your phone. And yeah, that was really fun. That was such a party trick for a minute. Yeah.
That is cool. That's like a $60,000 RC car, man.
It's precisely that. Yeah. But let's go look at Apple, not Apple, the stock. We're going to talk about Tesla, the stock, right? So after Elon announced that he was buying $1 billion worth, literally $1 billion worth, it spiked up like gangbusters right up into what? Right up into what? As you drink your glass of water,
Order block.
There you go.
Yep.
Yeah, right up into this order block right here. Now, I would bet that there are a buttload of people who are ready to sell right at the top right here. And reason being is they were the ones who got suckered in to this move right here. And then what happened? Crash back down. This is the market cycle at work. Let's talk about what the market cycle is, because it's real. A lot of people think that stuff like this is just myth and legend, right? This is the stuff of like Hercules and Achilles and all this stuff. This is myth. This is legend. No, it's real. It is really real. It really honestly happens. Now, this also is real. The market cycle being the white line here, the herd projection being the blue line, and when the herd buys. Where do you think that they bought that they are so pissed and they cannot wait to get out because Elon is stealing their money right here at the top, right?
Yeah.
They finally heard about this 122% up move. They thought it has to go on forever. It can't not go on forever. Immediately turns around. It's perfectly showing why order blocks exist. I mean, is that not cool or what? Hang on, let's do this side by side. This perfectly shows professional YouTube channel. Perfectly shows how this works. What do you think of that, Joe?
Yeah, I was one of those that had Tesla at 450, and if I had held instead of getting out and watching those trend lines that whole time that Elon and Trump were having their disputes, and being the person that held that, I'd want to get rid of it as soon as I could. So, those people want to sell. That's why those order blocks exist.
Wait, you had Tesla at 450 like that, Joe?
Yeah, I bought it at 110 and I carried it to 450. Yeah.
Whoa, look at you. Joe the
Yeah.
mega millionaire over here. That's what I'm talking about.
That was before I knew anything.
Well, I thought you were saying you bought it at 450.
No. I bought it at 110, carried it to 450. I sold some of it at 430 as well, but I don't own any at the moment.
Oh, yeah, me either. Right. And to that point, all stocks are bad, but every once in a while they act right. Even Tesla stock is a bad stock because it has market risk. But you can see when you add the 10/20 price over 50 right on top of it, it'll show you when it's acting right. And then it'll show you when it's not. And you can look on this side and see the same thing. And then again, these order blocks up here are representative of areas where there is a concentration of buyers ready and waiting and willing and praying and hoping to get out of break even. And I don't know, we're down 3.62% on Tesla so far right now. I don't think that people are super stoked about this new Model Y. Tesla has launched cheaper version of the Model Y and Model 3 at $39,000, $36,000. And a new Model Y variant under $30,000 is expected today. I don't know. Maybe that was the headline. They expected it under 30, but it came in at 39. Maybe that's why people are selling off the stock. They're like, I thought you said 30, Elon. Wait, that's not 40, that's 30. I don't know. Let's take a look over on OVTLYR for Tesla real quick. So first we need to let's pop into the queues. Why not? Let's pop into the queues and then we'll shift over to Tesla TSLA. Yeah, we do own some in queue for sure. Joe got out right at the top because Joe's an outlier. He is not normal. How dare you, Joe?
Yeah, that's very, very fortunate. That's when I found some good mentors and started learning what a professional trader would do instead of just buy and hold forever. And man, did I get lucky.
You did great though, right? Now, let me ask you, Joe, did you have a plan for exiting?
Nope, no plan at all. I was coming back from a holiday and I noticed that it was really low and what was it? He was buying Twitter or something, and and nobody was happy about it. And I said, this is coming back up. It's got to go back up. I was right in that instance.
Yeah, well, I mean, tons of people have held on to stocks that it's got to come back up. It finally happened, 10 months later, 10 years later, things like that, right? You managed to get out on the right side, dude. So congratulations on that.
Yeah, thanks.
Right now, if somebody were owning Tesla, looking at this situation, we got a sell signal on Tesla. So that's not so great. We are getting less and less greedy on Tesla. So that's not so great. The discretionary sector getting less and less greedy as well, but it did have a little crossover on the breadth. However, breadth in the sector is actually showing less uptrends, more downtrends. Now, why do I care about that, right? First, let's talk about the market. The market makes up 40% of the move of any stock, not just Tesla, every stock out there. 40% of its move is due to the market. 30% is due to the sector. Now, like I say, the sector is getting less greedy. The sector does have bullish breadth, meaning more buy signals than sell signals, but we're getting less uptrends, more downtrends. So that's not so great. So that's 30% of the move. And only the last 30% is due to the stock itself, which is why I would tell you never to go long a stock in a bear market and never to go short a stock in a bull market. So here on Tesla, right, even if though it's got its sell signal, even though it's getting less greedy, it's still in an uptrend. And I wouldn't be shorting an uptrend like this. And it does have that overhead resistance right there. So you got to be aware of that. So Joe, how about we shift over into the invitation only live stream at this point? Does that sound good to you?
Yeah, let's hit it.
All right. Welcome to the invitation only live stream. This is where we help you save time, make money, and start winning with less risk. So go ahead and subscribe, especially if you're watching on the replay. And the plans MA ETF and plans sit in cash and don't F up is what we're going to cover today. And listen, if you want normal returns, this is not for you. But if you want to be an outlier and you want to treat your portfolio like a fund manager, now you're in the right place. So when to use each one of these plans? Plans M and A have all of the same entry criteria, with the exception of plan M using swing signals and outlier and A using active signals. Now, I get a lot of people asking, why is it plan M? It's plan M for money. That thing prints. It is awesome. Now, we are in plan ETF right now. We're actively in plan ETF right now. So before we do anything, let's go look to reduce risk before adding new trades. So let's look at our active exit signals. So plan ETF exit signals, a Q sell signal. Well, let's just double check. Let's go back one, click right here, and load it in. Okay, so we have a buy signal on the Qs right now. So still looking sharp, all is good. And then a 10-20 bearish cross. So that would be a 10-20 daily, not hourly, not 5-minute, anything else. Hourly exponential 10 under the 20, which we don't have right here. Or a 30-day order block, a 30-day old order block being hit. And there's none of those out there, right? We just hit all-time highs. In fact, we hit new all-time highs today, it looks like, right? And it's funny, Joe. There was a little bit of discontent in the Discord today, and it looked a little bit like this. Wait a minute. Wait. Why is it going down? It's just going down itty bitty baby bit right there. And so, it's one of those things that we need to make sure we treat our portfolio like a fund manager. And we do that by having a plan, whatever that plan is, have a plan, right? And enact that plan. And if that plan's not working for you, that's fine. Take a step out of the market, figure out a new plan and enact that. So we don't have any reason to close these trades today, but maybe you'd want to get into plan ETF today. Let's take a look at our plan ETF entry signals here. So scrolly here, plan ETF entry signals. An uptrend in QQQ. So how do we determine the uptrend? The 10 over the 20, price over the 50. I did hear that bubble. That was a Discord bubble. A QQQ buy signal. We established that we do have that already. The QQQ heat map being under 70. So let's look at the current heat map is at 67.25. As long as it's under 70, it doesn't matter if it's moving up or down on the fear and greed scale. Now, you're probably asking yourself, well, Chris just talked about the fear and greed going up. Why would I not care? This is a defensive plan. This is one of these plans where the back tests have shown, and I'll show the back test in just a moment, you can hold this for 90 days, 100 plus days without getting the sell signal, right? One of the other sell signals in place here. So it really doesn't matter if the heat map is moving up or down. It's just about being in and riding that wave. And then less than 2 ATRs above the 20 EMA. So let's go look. We actually could, let's see, outlier value zone. What the value zone measures is a 2 ATR distance, and the ATR is showing how much volatility a stock has. So 2 times the average volatility away from the 20 EMA, which actually will light up today. After this candle closes, it'll be nice and green right there, which means if you are wanting to get into plan ETF, today's actually the day to do so. What do you think, Joe?
Yeah, looks like there's an entry, and I suspect there's also an entry on SPY too, but I didn't do a full analysis on it yet.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Let's see. Upturn on SPY. SPY still has a buy signal. There's a SPY heat map under 70. Actually, Joe, I'm glad you brought it up. Let's check it out. I am glad you brought it up. Look at that. SPY is all green for 9.
All green. Outlier 9.
Baby. It is under 70. It's at 69.83. And it doesn't matter if it's going up or down. All it matters is that it's under 70. Less than 2 ATRs above the 10 or 20 EMA. Let's go see. Value zone. Yeah, it certainly is. And there's no order blocks away. How about that? In plan ETF, you could go with either QQQ or SPY. Now, I'm all the way in tqqq because that's part of my trading plan. So I don't need to worry and shift half to SPY. But there was a question this morning. If you picked one or the other, why would you pick it? It's like, go 50-50. Why not? Figure out what works for you. If in this case I were brand new into plan ETF, honestly, I would go 50-50. But I'm already in my trade and I don't have an exit signal, so I don't have to do anything. Look at that. Good job, Joe. Nicely done. Nicely done. So both S&P and the Qs are in the value zone. So if you wanted to run plan ETF, and if you are taking plan ETF on the entries, you better be damn sure that you know where your exits are. These are the exits I will be taking. You figure out what those exits are. Don't even come crying to me that Chris said I should sell my SoFi. No. Chris, don't do that. Chris doesn't make price predictions. Chris only follows a plan. And if you decide to sell because a random guy on the internet happened to say that it's in a downtrend, that's on you, my friend. That's on you. Be a big boy. All right. So plan ETF is online today if you wanted to take plan ETF. So let's talk about plans A and M real quick. So as I mentioned earlier, both plans M and A have the same entry criteria with the exception of switching from the swing signal to the active signal. So we're going to run on plan M real quick. And, what is the market telling us? A bullish trend on the SPY. We definitely have that. The SPY signal is there. The SPY is under 70 and it is rising. And we do have full stocks breadth. Full stocks breadth, meaning we have more buy signals than sell signals. SPXL is leveraged. I believe that's a 3x leveraged as well, just like TQQQ. So we do have this crossover right here, Mr. Mikey Mike. Crossover right there. More and more buy signals, less and less down sell signals. So we're so close to getting in. Let's go to the next step. In fact, all of this is true today. Let's go to the next step in plan M. And that is looking at the sector, 30% of the move, remember. And we're looking at the sector here. The sector fear and greed heat map, we want to see under 70 and rising. So we will have an indicator for this. It's actually going to be a little drop down right there that says summary view. But in the meantime, Vaclav, one of our Discord members, built this incredible tool. In fact, I'm using an older one, an older version of it. But what this does is it kind of consolidates all the data for you, makes life a lot easier. And like I say, this will be built into OVTLYR. The next update, I believe, is going to include this. The next update where we add 6,000 more stocks, Joe. Can you believe that? 6,000 more stocks. I can't wait.
That's a lot of work. Kudos to Mahesh and the team. I mean, that's amazing.
And all this for only 82 cents a day. Only 82 cents a day when you get the annual pass. So definitely get that annual pass. Now, looking over here, we want to see the sector heat maps under 70 and rising. So literally everyone is under 70 and only healthcare, which we will never trade. Healthcare is permanently excluded. Screw that guy. Industrials, materials, and utilities are moving up. Okay, so just those four are moving up. Now what we want to see is the sector greed higher than the market greed. So what that means, sector relative greed being greater than 1, means finding a super greedy sector that is outperforming the market, that's even greedier than its peers and the market itself. That's where we would be looking to trade. None of those are even close. The market at 69.83 just trounces everything as far as the greed score goes. I mean, the only one even in the 60s is utilities. So for me, that would stop me in my tracks because I'm a professional fund manager who follows a plan. That would stop me from taking either plan M or plan A. And we don't have to do plan sit and cash and don't have up because we're already in plan ETF. So that is how a fund manager works through his plan top to bottom, looking from the market all the way down to the sectors, all the way down to the stocks. This is what it's going to take for you to be a successful trader. Now, in the chat, I want to take a look at some of your stocks. So put a hashtag S with the name of your stock and where you got in from. And then on we'll also be looking at some new stock ideas. We'll run the screener, see if anything pulls through, and I'll give you some perspective on those as well. Put a hashtag in the name of your stock that you want to take a look at. So let's start with a fellow OVTLYR graduate, Ozzy Ian. By the way, I was asked over at the meet and greet this week, and we had our very first meet and greet, which was so cool. When's beta class happening? After I get back from vacation, we're gonna light it up. We're gonna try and get it done by the end of the year, having a beta class completed by the end of the year. That gives us roughly 8 weeks. I believe the original class was 9 weeks, give or take some holidays here and there. So we can totally make it happen. So I'm looking forward. Beta class will be coming soon in OVTLYR University, completely for free. You do have to have an annual pass for OVTLYR because we want to make sure that you don't run into any, access issues while you're in class, which makes total sense, right, Joe?
Oh yeah, and it's so worth it. It's 82 cents a day to get that sort of education. I mean, OVTLYR University beta. I mean, if you're accepted into that, you just won the lottery, man. It's worth the 82 cents a day for sure.
Joe, what you don't have to give any numbers or anything like that, but would you say that OVTLYR University was definitely worth the cost?
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely paid for my subscription beyond.
Yeah, Joe shared with me some numbers, and I'll just put it this way: what Joe's doing would not be possible, would not be normal. It would take Joe many, many, many years of normal returns to
That's
get to where
right.
he's at now. So congratulations to you, Joe. All right, let's take a look at Aussie Ian. Where'd he go? I lost him. There he is. He wants to look at TTD, the trade desk, long October 24 50 calls. Okay, so TTD. All right, so first thing that I see right here is we're coming off the back of a big, ugly, nasty downtrend. Now, you may have bought it, Aussie Ian, because, I know you went to class. I know you passed as well. I know your grades. I was there. That you probably bought it right over this 10 period or 50 period moving average, I would say. Let's dive deeper. TTD into the trade desk, right? So at this point, I know that Aussie Ian already has his exits mapped out. But let's say, for example, that he's following plan M. Where would he need to get out? So he bought it today. Most likely he bought it today because this is when the buy signal came. Now we're on the back of that downtrend. Looks like it's struggling right here. We'll see if it can actually pull through that 50 period moving average. But it is getting less greedy. The tech sector, however, it's not helping you out, my friend. We're not seeing less downtrends and more uptrends. We're also seeing a sell-off on the greed right here, whereas the greed on the individual stock is doing well. You've got some mixed signals here. Now, that's okay, because I know Ian is a professional fund manager, and I know that he is going to know where to get out. So, Ian, it's struggling right here, my dude. I would just say, watch your back on this guy. He might turn around and disappoint you, right? Remember, all big, beautiful, giant trends start with a 10 over 20 price over 50. It mathematically has to. But that doesn't mean every time the 10 is over the 20, price is over the 50, that it will turn into a big, beautiful, giant trend. So I'm hoping for the best for you, my friend. Hey, Plumber Fred says, don't forget the like button. I appreciate that. All right. Let's do Theo. Says he's looking at S. What is S? Hang on, make sure I didn't do it wrong. S. It's highly likely I did it wrong. No, we don't cover S. So that's all right. Like I say, we're covering 6,000 more stocks in addition to the 2,600 that we already have here in the next couple of weeks. So let's take a look at S. Okay, S does not look brilliant to me, and let's talk about why. First, you are already within a downtrend. Now today you got a big nasty negative 3.69% move, so not so brilliant. Additionally, it does have a an order block right here that might help it out, that might give it a little bit of a bounce right here. And this order block down here also might give it a bit of a bounce. But yeah, right now I'm not loving S at all, Theo. Unless you're going short, then I can definitely see the case for that. Let's see. Let's look at Steven. Steven is such a baller. I love what Steven's doing over in our Discord. In fact, let me show this off real quick. Steven is where's it at? Hang on, where's it at? Here. He's making all kinds of new Scrooge McDuck memes, which is so cool. This one earlier, I showed it this morning. Dude, it's so good. It even has like my actual DuckTales mug in the shot. I was very, very impressed by that.
I'm pretty sure we've seen you in a Stetson too, right?
Oh yeah, I don't wear it all that often. I don't want that to become my like thing I'm known for, but I
Mhm.
certainly do have the Stetson. It's a beautiful Stetson, by the way. Let's go look at Steven. Oh, he's also an S. How did I miss that? Sorry, Steven. What I said earlier applies to this as well. What I said earlier applies to this as well. Okay.
I
I
think I
actually
think
am late. What's
I
up?
think he's talking about MS, right? Which should be Morgan Stanley, maybe?
Oh, duh. Hashtag S.
Mhm.
Learn to read, Chris. I know. I got the itty bitty baby brain and a little bitty baby hands, and I can't even type. I put MXZ. Good. Oh God, I did it again. MSZ. Okay, I got to slow my ass down. The MS. Boom. There we go. Professional YouTuber Joe.
We'll let it slide this time.
Oh, how could I? I'm actually late to my meeting with Shane. Shane the plumber. I'm late to my meeting with him, so we'll do this for a couple more minutes, and then I got to get over. All right. So MS Morgan Stanley does have a sell signal, and actually has been pushing down since that sell signal came on the 30th. Let's see, Morgan Stanley. Okay, I've got some old notes on here. Let me remove these. All right. So the 30th here. Oh, come on. Here. No, God, the third time I have to click it. Don't let me crash out again. Okay. So we're definitely not working in the favor of this one, my friend Steven. Now, the sector is not looking great. The whole financial sector is looking pretty weak. The stock itself getting well off of its highs on the fear and greed right there with the sell signal. I would actually not be in this one. But that's just me. That's just me. You do you. But the 70 call, like
Yeah,
that deep in the money?
I think he accidentally put a space in there, and he actually means CMS.
This guy. God, fucking up so big.
I have a feeling this might be the last one.
Yeah, this guy. Now this one I like. This one looks a lot better. This guy, Steven. I'm just playing with you, Steven. All right, you got that order block right there, which is what it's picking up on. You're all 9 except for an order block, right? By the way, tell me order blocks don't work. Look at that. Look at that big old nasty wick right there. Shaboop, right? It tried, but it's going to struggle. I don't know how far this is going to go before it pushes through, but you've got double stacked order blocks right there, right? This is like a double stuff Oreo. It tastes so good, right?
Mhm.
These people are going to be so happy to finally get out at break even, but Steven's not going to be happy because his call is going to be getting chewed up by theta every single day. So Steven, unfortunately, this isn't brilliant. Let's do a quick run over in the screener. By the way, I really appreciate you guys allowing me to take a look at your stocks. Not S, not S, not S. Shut up. I'm trying. Sean says I need to rage quit. No, I've already raged too hard today. I just took years off my life earlier. AMD got a buy signal. What? AMD. AMD got a buy signal. Okay, we got to take a look at AMD. If only, Joe, I could have predicted the stock going up to $200 a share. If only I was that type of YouTuber, but I'm not. I'm the type of YouTuber who's going to look at a stock and he's going to say, "Oh, you know what? It was trending down. Oh, you know what? It was trending up. Oh, it was trending down, and then just a couple days ago, it started trending up again." Now, why do I care about this? This is a little behind the scenes, underneath the hood kind of thing. People had advanced knowledge of this open AI deal. There are unscrupulous people who will go in and buy calls and buy shares and buy anything they can with the hope and prayer that nobody sees their insider trading. Now, if you don't believe me, that is one of the core tenets, in fact, in one of Mark Minervini's books, and I forget what it was, and in trend following. The insiders are buying. You need to be aware of when that's happening. I would bet you they found out on this date right here. I would bet you that this deal started, got inked on paper September 18th. See that big green candle? And then how that was the day where the trend basically flatlined and started to go back up. I would bet you that's exactly what happened. Now, AMD with the big buy signal right here is sitting within this order block. Again, these buyers all the way back from March of 2024 are so stoked to see AMD right here. If it can close over this, that is a great thing. Also, if you're watching AMD, look for a gap and crap. If it closes underneath this candle within 3 days, that would be considered a gap and crap. That is a get out of the way signal. Okay, a get out of the way signal. But a big, beautiful move up like this, Absolutely starts every single time with the 10 over 20 price over 50. Let's take a look at a couple more. I really do need to bounce. I apologize. I'm late for meeting. MicroStrategy. MicroStrategy here. Oh yeah, there were quants that put out something that showed that they saw strange amounts of out of the money calls prior to that spike. Yeah. No, people are always honest. No. It's real. It's real. It is real. Okay, buy signal came on. MicroStrategy today. Tech sector is not helping you out whatsoever, but the stock is getting more greedy. Looks like the trend may have crossed over. MSTR. Oh, I take it back. Joe, this is why I wait till the end of the day. This is exactly why I wait until the end of the day. You had your 10 over 20 price over 50 at the beginning of the morning. Opened up, down slightly. Oof. Only down 8.7% on the day.
Ouch.
Right. Yeah. If this doesn't right here convince you to wait until the end of the day, I don't know what will, right? You want that price confirmation to confirm that it's going to work. And all you got to do is sit on your hands for 6 hours. Just 6 hours. Just 6 hours. And then at the end of the day, you can evaluate and say, oh, you know what? Okay, price is happy. I'm happy. Everything that I want to see is happy. Let's make it happen. Let's make it happen. Corey says, this isn't bad. This is a disaster. Corey also said, AMD forever. Can it never go down? I love it, Corey. Okay, I'm going to do 2 of your suggestions. Otis. Ziggy wants to look at Otis. Otis elevators. This is going to be in the industrials. And fun fact, my dad and uncle both worked on Otis elevators back in the day. Hey, like that.
Very cool.
Yeah. All 9. All 9. I love it. All 9 on Otis. Who had Otis? Ziggy did. All 9 on Otis. That's a great place to start. You've got the donkey channels and the industrial sector lining up, meaning more uptrends, less downtrend. This is really good, by the way, Joe. I'm loving this one. Breadth is crossed over, more uptrends, less downtrends, getting more greedy in the sector. The stock is getting more greedy with a buy signal. Let's go confirm that it came through today. I was about to say, watch it be today when it decides to pull back. Either way, be sure you know where your risk is at, Ziggy. Y'all enjoy a little bit of Joe because I got to sneeze and I don't sneeze on the internet. That is one of my things. Hang on.
Let's just not forget risk management, as Ian tells us. Don't get in before you know where you're getting out, and make sure your position size is correct.
Okay, apologies. I do not sneeze on the internet. That's one of my things. Okay. Could you imagine the screen caps people could get when I sneeze? That is why I don't sneeze on the internet. Okay. So Otis, actually, it looks brilliant. Just be careful right here, right? Unfortunately, it did close under the 10 EMA 2 days in a row. So you might be losing your trend right there, but it is still all 9. There it is. There it is still all 9. So watch your back, Ziggy, but I really, really like it. Cody wants to look at Vive. What is Vive? This sounds like a healthcare stock. It is a healthcare stock.
Ugh.
Yeah, I wouldn't trade it. Now, why would I not trade it? Well, first, I got burned. Unfortunately, the outliers who followed me over the summer, they can tell you we all got burned on a healthcare stock that was performing well, and then out of nowhere down 43% the next day. Unfortunately, that is what it's like earnings, right? Earnings are such a crapshoot, but in the healthcare sector, those crapshoots can happen on any given Thursday, and I don't like that. I don't like that at all. And in fact, Scott, our quant, measured it, and we actually have higher expectancy by just removing the entire sector. So it's like, I don't want this guy anymore. Screw that guy. But Cody likes it. Backtest showed it's not reliable. No. It's not that the backtests were not reliable. It's that sector is a screw you guys. I'm going home type of sector. So, but more uptrends than downtrends in the sector right here. Bullish breadth, more greed, and a lot of greed here on Vive. Go take a look over at Vive real quick. Man, he still has 30-degree burns from VKTX. Yeah, me too, man. Me too.
You know, I got lucky on VKTX because I tried to roll it, and I tried to roll it before having a complete plan to roll it, and there was nothing I could get into. I should have phantom rolled it. Well, had I phantom rolled it, I would have been in the same boat as you guys and lost all of it, right? So I actually made profit on VKTX.
Screw you, Joe. I'm never inviting you back over here again. I'm never inviting you here again. Cody, you got a little bit of an order block up here around 320. Just watch that. But in the meantime, Viv's going to stab you in the back. All right. I'm just telling you, watch your back with Viv. He's coming for you. He's going to have the Halloween mask on, and you're going to hear something in the background like, eek, 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 eek. And then he's just going to take you out 43% overnight. Just going to happen. Get ready for it. Just shut up, Joe. For F's sake, Joe, come on now. Cody's like, yeah, okay. All right, listen, I do have to run. I am late to a meeting. I am a professional YouTuber, fund manager, and a jerk for not showing up to meetings on time. But listen, Joe, if somebody was interested and they've already decided, you know what, this guy, Chris, maybe he's got some good ideas, right? And they decided to pick up OVTLYR for how much was it again? I can't remember.
82 cents a day.
82 cents a day. Is that on the monthly plan?
So cheap. Annual plan.
Oh, on the annual plan. Wow. It's almost like they would save 64% off the cost of the monthly plan if they went with the annual pass. It is such a deal. And how much did he say OVTLYR U costs for the beta class that's going to start after around the first week of November?
That's the best part. OVTLYR U is completely free.
Hang on. Is there a money back guarantee on OVTLYR University?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yep. If you want your money back, you can have it.
That sounds good. So listen, I really do encourage you guys to go over, grab your annual pass for literally 82 cents a day. And in the meantime, if you don't believe me right now, I really highly recommend you save time, make money, and start winning with less risk. And believe even more, believe with your own eyes by clicking one of these two videos. One's in front of Joe's face, one's in front of my face, and we'll definitely talk soon.